And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. If you are fans of LeBron James, you should go sit in the corner and cry to yourself. Former NBA player Metta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest, sat down on the Byron Scott podcast, and they talked about a lot of things. It was a really good interview, I thought, and we all know Metta World Peace can kind of be flip-floppy on some issues, but in general, I think it was a very good interview, and they talked about a lot of things. Of course, you always have to talk about the GOAT debate. They talked about the modern NBA. They talked about Metta World Peace's time with Kobe Bryant. They talked about the Malice in the Palace. They talked about a lot. Like I said, it was really a good interview. I would suggest you go check it out. But one of the things they talked about was Kobe Bryant. And before we play this clip, I want to say this. Despite the mainstream media attempt to leapfrog LeBron James over Kobe Bryant, it is always a different story when you're talking to the players. More players recognize Kobe's greatness, and I would definitely say more fans. To me, LeBron James is not close to Kobe Bryant, and for this reason. To me, it's about sacrifice. Greatness requires sacrifice, and how much you're willing to sacrifice a lot of times determines how great you will become. And what I mean by that is a lot of people want to justify the modern NBA players' need for load management, need for putting so much emphasis on taking care of their bodies by not playing through ailments and whatnot. And yes, you can do that. And maybe, in fact, maybe that actually is better for your body. But here's the thing, is that people who reach extreme greatness, that's because they are willing to do extreme sacrifice, including their body. We all know that Michael Jordan played through all kinds of injuries, including on the Wizards years when he had nothing left to prove. He was already a 6-time champion. We all know that he got through those Wizards years. After the first year, a few months in, he got the torn meniscus, and he was basically playing injured for the rest of that season and the season after. He was playing on one leg. We all know Kobe Bryant played through several major injuries. And to me, if I'm choosing a player that I want to start my team with, I'm going to choose a player who I know is going to go all out for the win, who is willing to sacrifice it all for the win. I don't want to choose some soft player who's going to be sitting out with foot soreness. I don't want to choose some soft player who at the beginning of the season says, I'm going to play all 82 games this season. Yeah, because Michael Jordan did it at age 40, so I'm going to do it at age 40 so people would think I'm as great as he is. And then, and then we get into the season and he's sitting out with foot soreness, people. I'm not going to choose a player like that. Matter of fact, to me, a player with a mindset like that is no way you can be mentioned in the same conversation with the true greats of the NBA, because those greats were all willing to sacrifice. Larry Bird played through extreme back pain. So, having said that, let's talk about this clip where Ron Artest and Byron Scott is talking about Kobe's willingness to play through pain and how high of a threshold he had for pain.
Then I got there at 8 one day and he was leaving. So then one day I did get there about 6. I did my own thing. I just wanted to see it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, he's a different breed.
Yeah.
Different breed.
Different dude, man. Different dude.
He had played through a broken foot. Like, he's not going to feel the pain.
Gary Vee said that highest threshold for pain
Yeah.
that he's ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Because there was
Kobe
times I'm
Bryant.
like, wow, I got a high threshold for pain.
Yeah,
paid
I do
with that.
too. And Gary, when Gary told me that, I was like, really? He was like, B. He said, I've never seen nobody like him.
Yeah.
Broken fingers, broken foot, like you said. Snap it back in place, put me back, tape it up. I'm gonna go back out and play.
Swollen knee.
And play
Just-
well.
Yeah. And like you said, he had a way of being able to focus on not allowing that to bother him.
Yeah.
And then be able to just focus on the game, not the injury, just the game.
In the finals, I mean, I remember seeing that finger. That thing was broke.
Yeah.
That finger was broke.
Yes, it was.
And, you know, he was like, okay, I'm just trying to get 25 points straight for all you guys today.
Metta, look, I coached him, last year in L.A. with you. You were there as well. Yeah. And we were in Portland. And you remember, he separated his shoulder during the game.
Yeah.
And he turned around in the post and shot a left-hand jumper that went in over Poindexter. And Poindexter was like, what the hell? And came to the bench and he was, doing this. And Gary was like, B, you got to get him out. Call timeout, get him out the game. I was like, KB, you all right? He's like, yeah, it's just my shoulder. It's all right, well, I got to take you out. He said, no, I got my left hand.
That's crazy.
I said, no.
You took him out?
Yeah, well, no. Matter of fact, put him back in. Didn't take him out, just called timeout. He was like, no, I'm good. Coach, I'm good. So let him go back out. That's when he hit the turnaround jumper with the left hand.
Okay.
And Gary and me looked at each other. I said, yeah, okay, such and such, go get his ass out.
Get him, yeah.
Took him.
So you heard the clip. So yeah, to me, this is the biggest difference between LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Again, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, we're talking about the most extreme versions of that. But to me, if you're talking about any of the greats, like I said, to me, these greats had a willingness to sacrifice their bodies, their health for greatness. And this is what LeBron James doesn't have. I think we all remember that play that he's talking about when Kobe turned around and shot that left-handed three. And, the guy had a separated shoulder. The guy had a separated shoulder, and LeBron James is complaining about foot soreness. The willingness to sacrifice things is what pushes people to true greatness. Here's another thing about Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James. To me, Kobe Bryant has several moments in play that you remember and you can think back to that just made you feel like this guy is just different. LeBron James doesn't have that. I mean, think back, what play of LeBron James that made you think he was different in the sense that like nobody else could do this besides him just being strong and fast, so to speak. But I mean, don't tell me about the chase down blocks, because again, chase down blocks, we've seen that in the NBA almost since the NBA existed. That's the kind of thing that we've seen that. The chase down block isn't special. And matter of fact, I would say they blow it out of proportion, because we all know the one they show the most is in the 2016 finals, when that block wasn't as consequential as they tried to make it out to be. Again, if Kyrie hits the three, they still win the game. Like I said, I give it to him in the sense that, it created some momentum, but it wasn't as consequential as they tried to make it out to be. But other than that, like, what plays of LeBron James stick out in your mind that when you saw this guy do this, it was just like, man, nobody else can do this. Like we've seen Kobe shoot several crazy left-handed shots. We've seen Kobe dunk over centers in a way that we have not seen LeBron James do. We've seen Kobe scoring 60 and 81. We've just seen Kobe do feats that when you look at it, you say, he's the only one who can do this. You don't get that from LeBron James. And obviously, we don't even have to bring up Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan is like, every night was a highlight reel. Again, Michael Jordan was must-see TV because you didn't you didn't want to miss what could possibly happen on any given night with Michael Jordan. But it is not like that with LeBron James. And I would argue that's because LeBron James just doesn't have that kind of sacrifice to reach that level of greatness. That level of greatness requires deep sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice is your health. Sometimes that sacrifice is your body to reach that level of greatness. But you cannot get to that level of greatness without it. This has been the whole problem with LeBron James, is LeBron James wants to achieve greatness through means that no other player has done, and that is by going the easy route. LeBron James wants to go the easy route, yet reap the benefits and the praise, and the same kind of praise that players who literally sacrifice themselves to attain greatness. But you can't reach it without that. Mark Jackson was on the Club Shay Shay podcast, and he said that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are the only two players that he really believes would leave it all on the court. And he said, when I say leave it all, I mean actually die on the court. That's what Mark Jackson said, that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, he believes, were actually willing to die trying to get the win. And there's only two players who fall into that category. And LeBron James is not one of them. But LeBron James is worse than that, because unlike all of the other greats like Russell and Wilt and Kareem and Magic and Bird and countless other players, LeBron James doesn't even have the mentality of sacrifice that these guys had. LeBron James has the mentality of preserving his career as long as possible. But the preservation of your career comes at the expense of being as great as possible, because you can't have it both ways. This is what LeBron James and LeBron James fans want. They want to have it both ways. They want to be able to load manage and still receive the praise. They want to be able to team hop and still receive the praise. They want to be able to constantly making excuses but still receive the praise. You know, they want to be able to take the credit when the team does well, but put the blame on other people when the team doesn't, and still receive the praise. So again, to me, this just shows another difference between LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Like, forget stats, forget the championships, forget all of that. If we're just talking about down to the fundamental aspect of being a competitor and who you would want on your team, because you know this person is absolutely gonna give it all on the court, there is absolutely no way that you would have to even think about this. And then last but not least, before we get out of here, I want to say this. And as far as championships, because I just saw, what was on Gil's Arena or something, they were talking about this, and Gil was talking about Kobe having Shaq the first 3 years. When it comes down to this, this is the bottom line is, at least Kobe has 2 definitive championships where he can say unequivocally that he was the guy for sure. LeBron James does not have 1 championship where he can say that. You can't say it in Miami because you went and joined the super team. So you threw that out the window. You can't say it in Cleveland because that 2016 finals, Kyrie was just as important as you were. Kyrie averaged 27 points a game in that finals. Matter of fact, he had 41 in one of the games. And he hit the game winner, which you never give him credit for, which LeBron James fanboys never want to bring up whenever they bring up the 2016 finals. They never want to bring that up. And then, of course, you got the bubble ring, which, again, Anthony Davis, to me, is the reason they won that bubble ring. at least you have to say he was just as big a factor in that as LeBron James. So LeBron James does not have one championship where he can definitively say, like, he was the guy. He was the reason that this all happened. He doesn't have one championship like that. Kobe Bryant has 2. So no matter what you think about Kobe's years with Shaq, which, like I said, to me, they were just, they were equal partners in those championships. Like I said, maybe except the very first championship. The very first championship, to me, you could argue that Shaq was the guy doing that very first championship. But the second and third, to me, they were equal. Like, you don't get those championships without Kobe Bryant. But anyway, yeah. Like I said, there's no real case for LeBron James against Kobe Bryant unless you're strictly looking at the statistics. And again, you know, if you have any ability to understand context behind statistics, then you will know that LeBron James puts up LeBron James statistics are simply empty calories. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What did you think about Byron Scott and Metta World Peace talking about Kobe's high threshold for pain? And how do you think that related to Kobe's greatness? Because like I said, to me, that is just it's an example of how extreme of sacrifice that people who reach an extreme amount of greatness have to make. Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't load manage and want to, rest for every single ailment you have and think that you can reach that level of greatness. You can't have it both ways. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.